Good evening, everyone. I'm Yanki Tshering, Executive Director of Accompany Capital, and it is my pleasure to welcome you and some very special guests to our 11th Annual Immigrant Heritage Week Awards. This year's event honors 4 exceptional entrepreneurs and community members who are continuing to contribute to New York's and their communities' successful economic recovery. Never have we felt a deeper conviction and appreciation for the role Accompany Capital plays in supporting the efforts of immigrants and their families who start small businesses that grow and become the backbone of New York City's economy and vibrant culture. I want to add a special thank you to our staff, who for the last several years has been going above and beyond to get needed capital to not only our clients, but to other small business owners as well. From emergency grants in 2020 to PPP loans to this year's very welcome New York Small Business Services Opportunity Loan Fund loans. Thank you too to our board, funders, and partners for their unwavering support and guidance. We are so fortunate to live in a city that supports and celebrates immigrants and refugees, and whose Office of Immigrant Affairs plays such a strong role in ensuring the safety and access to services for new arrivals. We value their partnership and shared mission of ensuring the success of immigrants and their families. So it is my pleasure to introduce Commissioner Manuel Castro of the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs.
Good evening. I am Manuel Castro, the Commissioner of the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs. I am delighted to extend my warmest wishes to all of you on this special occasion. Tonight, I want to express my deepest gratitude to Accompany Capital for selecting NYC's Immigrant Heritage Week to honor such exceptional members of our community. This week is particularly important because we commemorate the 116th anniversary of the day when over 11,000 immigrants entered the U.S. through New York City's Ellis Island. We are proud to celebrate our legacy as the ultimate city of immigrants, where still over 3 million immigrants continue to live and call their home. Today, we also celebrate Accompany Capital for their more than 2 decades of creating pathways for small business ownership, providing capacity building services, and supporting immigrant entrepreneurs as they launch and grow their businesses. Immigrants are the backbone of our city, and much of our country's progress and prosperity can be attributed to their labor and innovation. Therefore, we are so grateful for the work that Accompany Capital does to help immigrant entrepreneurs thrive and succeed. In the past several years, we know that many immigrant businesses have struggled due to the pandemic's economic impact. Still, Accompany Capital has stood by their side, offering support to small business owners and entrepreneurs, including first-time immigrant business owners. So tonight, we honor some of the most successful and inspiring immigrant entrepreneurs whose businesses are thriving again, contributing to New York City's communities and economy. So on behalf of the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs, on behalf of Mayor Eric Adams and the City of New York, I congratulate all the honorees here tonight. We are grateful to Accompany Capital for their unwavering support of immigrant entrepreneurs, and we are excited to see what the future holds for these remarkable individuals and their businesses. So with that, happy Immigrant Heritage Week y muchas felicidades.
Thank you, Commissioner Castro. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Commissioner of New York City's Small Business Services, Commissioner Kelvin D. Kim, a son of immigrants who owned a small business and himself an entrepreneur. Commissioner Kim is passionate about creating opportunity and upward mobility for New York City's diverse communities.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kevin D. Kim, and I'm the Commissioner of the New York City Department of Small Business Services, or SBS. As the son of immigrant small business owners and a former small business owner myself, I personally know the challenges that small businesses just like yours face each and every day trying to launch and grow a business in New York City. So it's an honor and a privilege for me to be serving in this role to try to help small businesses overcome all of these challenges. Did you know that almost half of all small businesses in New York City are actually immigrant owned? And that these businesses employ nearly 500,000 New Yorkers and contribute approximately $195 billion to our economy. Those are very large numbers, and it truly does speak to the perseverance and grit of all of our small businesses. Accessing capital is one of the major challenges for all small businesses. And that's why it's important to note the work that Accompany Capital did during the pandemic to help save many small businesses. And more recently, Accompany Capital has been a great partner in the launch of our New York City Opportunity Fund, the largest public-private partnership loan fund directed just to small businesses. So I just want to take this moment to thank Accompany Capital and your entire team for being such great partners to SBS and to the City of New York. In closing, I want to congratulate all of tonight's honorees. Each of your stories and the story of your business is truly inspiring. It really reminds me of my own parents' journey to build a successful business. So I want to thank you, I want to congratulate you, and just wish everyone a great evening.
Thank you, Commissioner Kim. And now I'd like to introduce someone who, through her leadership in Congress, as a member of the House Committee on Financial Services, and as the ranking member of the House Committee on Small Businesses, has been an extraordinary advocate for CDFIs and for affordable capital to help small businesses grow. Please help me in welcoming with a special message for us, Congresswoman Nydia Velazquez.
Hi, I am Congresswoman Nydia Velazquez, representative of New York's 7th Congressional District and ranking member of the House Small Business Committee. Thank you so much for allowing me to join you for today's Immigrant Heritage Week award ceremony. This week serves as a reminder that the immigrant story is the American story. Throughout the centuries, immigrants have risked everything to pursue the American dream. In turn, they have strengthened the fabric of our nation immeasurably and have contributed greatly to the economy. For generations, immigrants have put down roots in communities across the country and started small businesses. This is especially true in New York City, where as of 2018, over half of all businesses were owned by immigrants. But despite all their success, these entrepreneurs encounter many challenges that their peers have not experienced. From access to capital to finding mentorship opportunities, immigrants have long confronted systemic obstacles to starting and running a successful business. That is why, as ranking member of the House Small Business Committee, I'm working to expand equitable access to all small business administration programs and ensure that underserved businesses have the resources they need to thrive. Tonight's award winners showcase the power of immigrant-owned businesses in spite of the systemic barriers. They are thriving. They are innovators and job creators. This is the spirit of immigrant entrepreneurs, persisting in the face of adversity and ultimately succeeding and making life better for those around you. This mentality is the reason businesses like yours are moving our economy and country forward. Congratulations again to all the award winners here tonight, And thank you to Accompany Capital for all you do to help immigrants achieve their dreams of small business ownership. Thank you again for allowing me to speak with you today.
We would now like to introduce a very, very special person, our board chair, Kwame Marfo, who's really been instrumental in ensuring the success of Accompany Capital.
Dear friends, it's been 3 years since the COVID pandemic brought our city to a standstill. In its aftermath, we have witnessed several whiplashes. Despite these challenges, our local community continues to thrive. And this is in large part due to the hard work of our immigrant and refugee entrepreneurs. These heroes and heroines continue to justify the trust that we place in them and give meaning to the work that we do. For the fiscal year 2022, we extended over $6 million in loans to these entrepreneurs, 90% of which went to refugee and immigrant entrepreneurs, with women accounting for over 50% of these loans. Despite lending to these groups that are deemed risky by mainstream financial institutions, our loan loss continues to stay low. This has been achieved with the dedicated support of all our stakeholders. Our Executive Director, Yanki Tshering, continues to lead and guide our path. And this has been achieved with the support of our dedicated staff, our ever-watchful board, and our funders, with those who support the work we do will never see the light of day. Tonight is one of celebration. We are here to celebrate our clients and community members who will be represented by 4 amazing entrepreneurs. We want to use this opportunity to thank them. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for believing in us. And thank you for being you.
Hello, I'm Frances Smith, Asset Development Specialist at Accompany Capital. And it is my pleasure to welcome and introduce our Konate, owner of Ladoux Beauty Bar and the winner of 2023 Accompany Capital Immigrant Heritage Week New Beginnings Award. After coming to the US from the Republic of Burkina Faso, Awa started helping a friend who owned a hair braiding salon. She enjoyed the work so much, she rented a chair in her friend's salon and started to attract her own customers. She is now the proud owner of her own salon, Ladoux Beauty Bar in Brooklyn. A single mother, an entrepreneur, and an inspiration to newly arrived members of her community, she has now 2 employees and a thriving business and looks forward to expanding even more in the future. Please meet Awa Konate, the winner of the 2023 New Beginnings Award.
The first day I opened my business was a dream come true day. Since at a young age, my dream was to have my own business one day, be more free and less stressed when you work for yourself, be your own boss. Nothing's better than that. I migrated to America since 2012. It's been a good journey. When I get here, I have a friend who asks me, what can I do? And I tell them, oh, I know how to braid. And then I learned, because the technique here in Africa is different. So I know the technique here and how to approach clients, how to talk to them. So it really helped me for my business. After a couple of months renting the chair, and I decided to rent a spa and open my own first business. I found this place. I was so excited. I said, oh my, that's the perfect place for me. It's a nice place, very active place. The bus is just close to my door and the train is just here. It's been a good journey. Her business, her salon is like a wave. Sometimes you peak, you make it, and sometimes it's down. When it's peak, I'm good because I make my money. So when it's come to be down, what I have to do? Accompany Capital, they've been helping me since I was renting my chair. They really care about the client and how they do on their business. When the pandemic hit, I didn't know what to do. I got a surprise call from them. She said, oh, we got some grant for you. Oh my God, I was so happy that day. This company really, really helped me. I really appreciate that trust they give to me. But if you really trust yourself, and trust on what you really want to do, you can make it. It's been a roller coaster, but we're still there. My next step is to extend my business, to make it more bigger, to have more employees. Because today, right now, we are only 2 people. So right now, I'm just doing hair. But in my next step, I want to do nail, do makeup, and do eyelashes. So when you come to Ladoux Beauty Bar, you got all your service you want before left.
Congratulations, Awa, for the 2023 Accompany Capital New Beginnings Awards.
Congratulations, Awa. It has been a pleasure working with you over the past 5 years.
Thank you, Mr. Logan. Thank you, Mrs. Francis. Thank you, Accompany Capital, for helping me, for trusting me, and for accompanying me on my journey. Thank you so much.
And now I'll want it over to Maria Paulino, who will present the next award.
Hello, I am Maria Paulino, Director of Women's Entrepreneurship Program at Accompany Capital. It is my honor to welcome and introduce Nancy Vargas, CEO of DH2 Chauffeur Transportation and the winner of the 2023 Immigrant Heritage Week Job Creator Award. What started as a small company with 6 employees in 1985, through her leadership has grown to nearly 50 employees and has expanded its services to include airline flight crew shuttle services, government contracting, construction mobility, and worldwide service. An active community leader, Nancy, among many other roles, serves as a board member of the Limousine Association of New York and as a co-chair of the National Limousine Association Women's Leadership Council. Everyone, please meet Nancy Vargas.
I love being an entrepreneur because I'm able to create. When I joined the company in 2004, it was Mike, myself, 5 chauffeurs, and a dispatcher. Where we are today, we now have an operations manager, a chauffeur manager, a fleet manager, fleet detailer, 45 chauffeurs, dispatchers, customer service reps, and looking to grow more opportunities as well. My husband, Mike Vargas, is the founder of our company, a chauffeur himself with a town car and a dream. At the time, I was in corporate America. However, my husband asked me to work on a project. 19 years later, I'm still working on the project. Becoming CEO was really a wonderful opportunity. I really wanted to evolve as a company, our streams of revenue, our niche of what services we were providing. Coming to JFK Airport was certainly a dream of ours. It's wonderful for our employees to know that they're right here in the heart of JFK Airport. My staff is wonderful. I think that we have projected our passion for this industry, for the work that we do. And I think that they have their own level of passion. Whatever role it may be, from our detailer to our dispatcher or customer service rep or our managers, everyone is passionate. Everyone is so willing to provide that level of service that's so ingrained, I think, in our culture. I understand what it is to be on the other side, to be an employee. And I believe that how my superiors made me feel is something that I wanted to bring to the table. I recall just being able to speak my ideas and share my thoughts, and so I've always had an open door policy. I think what makes me a great entrepreneur is being a visionary, someone that can create jobs, someone that can be a mentor. The fun part truly is seeing what you visualize in your mind be created, come to life.
Congratulations, Nancy. That's quite a project. Love your vision.
Thank you so very much. Oh my goodness, it is truly an honor, and I am proud to be the daughter of an immigrant man with the labor of his 2 hands. He was able to live the American dream. And so to be able to create jobs and do what we do, and certainly being at JFK Airport, which is certainly a dream of ours. It's just amazing. And we're so blessed. Thank you so very much for the opportunity. Truly, this is a wonderful evening, and I thank you all for this opportunity.
Thank you. And now Lini Ostrovsky will present the next award.
Hello, I'm Leonid Ostrovsky, Chief Lending Officer at Accompany Capital, and it is my distinct pleasure to welcome and introduce Sarina Prabasi, co-founder and owner of Buunni Coffee, and the winner of the 2023 Accompany Capital Immigrant Heritage Week Made in New York Award. Born in Nepal, Sarina grew up all around the world, eventually coming to the United States from Ethiopia in 2011 with her husband and partner, Elias. In 2012, they opened their first cafe in Washington Heights to create a gathering place around delicious coffee that is brewed with Ethiopian beans, but roasted right here in Brooklyn. And now they have 3 cafe locations in Upper Manhattan. A passionate advocate and spokesperson for small business owners, Sarina is now scouting for a location in the Bronx for a new shared roasting facilities so that more local cafe owners can do their roasting right here in New York. Please meet Sarina Prabasi, winner of the 2023 Made in New York Award.
When we walk around the neighborhood, sometimes people will stop us and say, "Thank you for opening this cafe in this neighborhood." My husband and I, we moved from Ethiopia to New York in 2011. We started Buunni in 2012. Buunni is all about community. It's about delicious coffee. It's about meeting your neighbors.
Medium size is good or not? Medium size is perfect. With olive, right?
As newly arriving immigrants to New York City, it was a wonderful way to make a community. Our first cafe, it's tiny. It's a typical New York space, and it became just sort of a natural gathering place for people. Our 3 cafes are in Washington Heights and Inwood. We live here. This is where the company is sort of rooted. Right now, Buunni coffee is being roasted once a week in Brooklyn. We take these single origin Ethiopian beans and we roast them the way that we think brings out the best notes in each bean. People like to describe, "This is what I taste," or "This is different from what I normally drink." Last year, we were really proud to introduce our first coffee from Dominican Republic. We have grown Buunni in this neighborhood that is heavily influenced by the Dominican community. So it was wonderful for us to be able to offer a coffee from Dominican Republic to our neighbors. We really want to bring a roasting facility closer to home. We're really looking at the Bronx. The dream spot would have the zoning that we need, as well as some foot traffic. So like a mixed use. From our home base in Washington Heights to Brooklyn, where we roast, to now the Bronx, where we hope to open a new roastery, our New York story and our Buunni story have really grown together.
Congratulations, Sarina. It's been my pleasure always working with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you to Leonid. Thank you to the Accompany Capital colleagues. I think that the name Accompany has really, that's how I think of you. You've accompanied us in this journey and in some quite difficult times during the pandemic as well, when all the cafes were closed. It was a very different time than where we are today. And so in those moments, you really accompanied Buunni and me, and I think gave a sense of assurance that you were with us. And that's something that we're never going to forget. And that's something that I think I really attribute for us to be here still. And I also really want to thank the Buunni team, because there's no such thing as an individual award. There's always people that get us to this point. And for us, our staff and our team, and of course, so many other people, our families, have been so important. And my husband is also the co-founder. You saw a glimpse of him in the video, but really our sincerest thanks. And it's a really an honor to be to get this award from an organization that I really respect. And I want to show you all, the audience, the award that I got, which is this beautiful big apple symbolizing New York City. So thank you so much.
Now Jason Cole will present the next award.
Thank you, Leonid. Thank you, Sarina. I'm Jason Cole from Accompany Capital. It's my pleasure and honor to welcome and introduce Kelvin King, founder and CEO of Alpha Aviation and Alpha Drones USA. Growing up near Kennedy Airport as the son of migrants from Vienna and Panama, Kelvin dreamed of becoming a pilot. He is now not only a captain at United Airlines, but also the owner of Alpha Drones USA, a commercial drone business and flight school that he founded in 2019. As a matter of fact, today is the 4th anniversary of Alpha Drones USA. Congratulations. Although the pandemic presented many challenges, he quickly pivoted to offer a virtual curriculum, as well as investing in new and high-tech specialized drones. He has come through with flying colors as his business continues to grow and expand. Please meet Kelvin King, winner of the 2023 Innovation Award.
Growing up near JFK in Queens, New York, seeing those wide-body aircraft flying over my home, it was fairly easy to look up and say, I'm going to fly one of those one of these days. My name is Kelvin King. I'm a captain at United Airlines. I'm also the founder and chief executive officer of Alpha Drones USA. What I love about drone technology is whatever idea you have, there is a solution to it now. We knew 8 years ago that artificial intelligence, robotics, would be coming into the marketplace and it would take over the world. So we started studying 8 years ago for this moment. Our technology is now changing the marketplace for many different industries, from agriculture to pest control to landscaping to delivery of goods to flight school certification. We're the nation's leader in FAA Part 107 drone pilot licensing distribution and workforce development. You can build a drone to do just about anything you would like. And we really want to empower people to have the skills and the training to fly these robots and make good money doing so. We're number one in the field. We're number one as it relates to pilot certification. We're number one in the field in terms of having a diverse menu of drone services. As we continue to see the needs of what's going on in the world, we're always going to find some kind of tool that can help the world meet the need. We're looking 10 years down the road at what the drone market can look like, and we're preparing for it right now.
Congratulations, Kelvin.
Thank you, Jason, and thank you, Accompany Capital, for this amazing award, for this awesome honor. It is a privilege, and I'm so grateful and thankful to you all for this amazing milestone and on our 4-year anniversary to receive this award. It's not just an acknowledgement of myself, but our entire team, all of our stakeholders, our supporters. Accompany Capital is certainly a part of our family, and we look forward to having this continued relationship for many years to come. So thank you so much for this honor, and may the drones be with you.
Congratulations again, Kelvin.
Thank you. Thank you, Jason.
You know, this is a session, Kwame, you moderated so well last year, being an entrepreneur yourself, hearing about, and you're also on our loan committee, chair of our loan committee, So Kwame knows all the details about Buunni Cafe, Sarina's business, Alpha Drones, our story, so many stories. So we could start with, Kwame, if you would like to ask our honorees a question.
Absolutely. Thank you, Yanki. And yeah, look forward to a very lively and entertaining discussion. So the first question from me is, I'd like to know what your inspirations were, and also what keeps you going, right? Being an entrepreneur, it's hard. Most people tend to see the glamorous aspects of the work, but there are so many little things that no one never makes it to light of day. So I'd like to know what, from you individually, what keeps you going in spite of the various challenges that you face. Well, I guess we start with Kelvin, since he was the last one to speak.
Well, thank you for the question. I'll say there's a lot of hard work that goes behind the scenes to have any kind of momentum and success. There are sleepless nights. There's a little bit of gray hair development. There's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of sacrifice. My wife is on the line listening in. My children are also witnessing this. My daughter's 10 years old and 8 years old. I just want to acknowledge them because of the sacrifice that they have made to allow me to labor almost around the clock to get this vision met and materialized to what we know it should be. There's a lot of sacrifice from selfless people around us, and we really wouldn't be able to prosper without their support. So I just want to acknowledge my wife, my kids, and our entire team that sometimes they run from me because of my passion and ambition of always having another project, another drone we've got to go after, another market we've got to go into. So I just know that it takes a good corporate team, a good community to find success. And that's how we are able to do what we do.
That's very helpful. The next question I'd like to pose to Nancy. So Nancy, if you hadn't pursued your current career, what would you have done?
So thank you so very much. Great question. Interestingly enough, our company was founded by my company with a town car and a dream and a little bit of an entrepreneurial spirit. Here we are 28 years later. And so I was in corporate America and thought that that's where I would be. And somehow I was invited to a project, and 19 years later, I'm still working on the project. So I get inspired every day. And I think that there is no other place that I would want to be, but continuing to push forward our business. I used to say that the passion for the transportation industry was by marriage, but certainly I've been able to find my own passion through all the work that we do throughout the years that we've done it. I think that there's no other place that I would want to be, but at DH2.
That's a good one. So as an entrepreneur myself, what I've found quite helpful is having some good balance between the day-to-day grind of running a business and also other things that help you unwind. So my next question goes to Awa. So if you're not at work, what do you do to keep your sanity? What do you do to unwind? What do you do to release stress? What are the other non-work extracurricular activities that you do engage in to keep you busy in non-work time?
Thank you for that question.
Can hear you.
My free time. Thank you for that question. For my free time, I spend my time with my son, who's is kind of busy. He's not that free. And I like to create, like to do, some creation, like a decoration in my house. So I always have something to do, it's not like I'm free, but yes.
Thank you very much. The next question goes to Nancy. Yeah, Can you also share with us some pitfalls that you've encountered and what you did to overcome them?
So, I believe that we've had to deal with a lot of economic downturns in our business, right? Being in transportation, one of the things that we've had to deal with was 9/11, and that event was definitely very challenging for us. And certainly, the financial crisis of 2008 and, Uber and Lyft kind of coming into our space. And then, of course, the pandemic. So I think that there has been certainly many challenges that have come our way, but I always see the negative. And how can we, Mike and I, turn that negative into a positive? And I think that, for us, the biggest challenge of them all was certainly during the pandemic. And I'm so grateful that we're standing, we're strong, our recovery has been strong. And certainly I want to take the opportunity to thank Accompany Capital, because it is through Accompany Capital that we've been able to continue to push forward and remain standing, because access to capital is a very difficult thing. So I think that, when there's something put our way that is negative, how do we turn it into a positive? And I think we've been able to do that each step of the way.
I'm glad to hear that. I believe I missed Sarina in the first round of questions. So there is a question from Catherine. So the question is, what were your specific challenges you found adjusting to doing business in a new country? And how did you overcome these challenges?
Thank you for that. Yeah, there was a lot to learn. And one thing that has really helped is that, so my husband and I are co-founders, and we have very different skills. And having that sort of complementarity of skills, I think, has created some checks and balances in our business and kept us sort of accountable. Learning how to do business in a new country, everything from really understanding consumer preferences. We came from Ethiopia, where there's a certain coffee drinking culture, and it's very slow and takes time, and you spend, you chat, you take sometimes hours over coffee. And we came to New York, where it's like coffee to go yesterday, like, in a rush. And just the pace of things, but also understanding consumer interests and like how to translate sort of the essence of the business that we were trying to build, which is about coffee and community, but how to translate that into something that will work and be financially feasible in New York. So that was definitely something we had to figure out.
Thank you so much. There's another question from one of the participants, and that goes to any of you entrepreneurs. So the question is, what is the most important thing to sustain a business? Any of you could take it.
Kwame, could you repeat that?
What is a key attribute? I'm sorry. So the question is, what is the most important thing to sustain a business? I suppose what is the key, success factor as a business?
I'll take that. I think that the most important thing is to remain grounded. I think remaining grounded each and every day. Your team, I am so appreciative of our team, because without them, we can't transport and mobilize passengers each and every day. And I'm sure that goes for everyone, all the people that are here in the panel today. But I just really believe remaining humble, remaining grounded, seeing a clear vision, it's so important. And I think the team that's behind you, because it takes a village to continue to move forward each and every day. You can't do this alone. And lastly, for me, a little bit of faith always takes you a long way as well.
I love the the positivity with that. Question to so this is from Catherine. She wants to know, what do you do to get a word out to build your clientele base? What are the various marketing communication channels?
Oh, I think it's good working. When you work, you know what to do. Your customer keep bringing, more customers. So that's how I build my customers. And social media, I do a lot of TikTok video or Instagram. So that's what I do. And I trust my work. I know what I do. So my customer always come back.
If I understand you correctly, so the quality of your work speaks for itself, word of mouth, and social media. That is very helpful to hear. There is a question that is open to any of the entrepreneurs, but I'd like to hear from Kelvin. So the question is, what is one advice that you give to someone who is dreaming on making the leap into starting a business?
Oh, that's a great question. What I would advise is know what you are getting into, study, and evolve with the times. And in my world of technology, artificial intelligence, robotics, our industry evolves like every few months. What happened 12 months ago, it's unrecognizable right now. And we don't know what we're looking at in about a year from now. So we have to continue to study the market and understand what is evolving and adapt with the market. To all entrepreneurs, I think we all would agree, sometimes you go into business and you're thinking you're going to be focusing on this, but then, the market kind of, it prompts you to pivot to something that you didn't think you'd be getting into. So just having the entrepreneurial mindset, being a business person, you're going to learn how to read and react and pivot with the times. So just evolving with the times, I think it's very, very important.
Thank you, Mr. Kelvin. So Yanki, do you have any questions you want to pose? I know we're getting close to time to wrap up, so I don't want to.
We still have time.
Okay. Are there any questions you or any other panelists would like to ask?
May I answer the last question as well?
Please do.
Because it's a really good question, and a lot of people come, will approach me and say, "Oh, I've always wanted to have a cafe. I've always wanted to have a coffee shop," and my advice is always, it's not a hobby. Like, owning a business or being an entrepreneur is not a hobby. So it's not something that you can do, a little bit on the side. I think we heard from all the panelists, it's a lot of hard work. And so while there are definitely benefits to being your own boss, to setting your own hours, like to deciding, not having to sit in our case, not having to sit in lots and lots of meetings to make a decision, there's lots of perks, but it is a lot of work. And so I think sometimes people who are thinking about entrepreneurship are thinking about all of those sort of positive, glowy things, and maybe underestimating how much that they will have to work harder than they've ever worked before, longer hours for yourself than you've ever worked for anybody else. And you have to find joy in that. It has to be fun. Otherwise, why bother, right? Like, you have to really love it. So I just wanted to add that bit. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Access to capital has, at least in my journey as an entrepreneur, was one of the major hurdles. And this is something I hear from entrepreneurs like myself, people of color. So I'll be grateful for many of you if you could share with me the first, funds you mobilize before, sort of going down the mainstream channel. So how were you able to get a business on the ground in terms of funding?
I'll take that. So for us here at DH2, I think the first time, I think when my husband founded the company, it was a little bit of savings and his entrepreneurial spirit that got us started with our first town car. And through the years, I think that again, just working really hard and, building the revenue and what have you. But for us, I have to say, becoming MWBE certified was a very important part of what we've done in our business. Secondly, I think one of our first access to capital was through a Delta Airlines project for the LaGuardia Reconfiguration Project, where we needed to purchase vehicles. We needed to add more staff. We needed more chauffeurs. And it was through the funding that we received for that allowed us to continue to grow. And I think that particular project, Delta project, was probably one of our largest projects at the time. So I think that had we not had access to the loan that we obtained to do all those things, it was definitely very important for our business. So I think that, one of my biggest advice that I give early on is to make sure that you're really paying attention to your numbers, to the cost to operate your business, and to have a team of professionals behind you, because as entrepreneurs, we're visionaries, right? We're dreamers. We do a lot of great things, but sometimes we're not great at everything. So you do need professionals behind you to guide you. And certainly what's not something that people tell you as you're starting your business is how important your P&L and your balance sheet and your financials, very critical and very important. And you need to understand your numbers very early on. And if you don't, then find the help that you need in order for you to have those things accessible. Because if you need access to capital and you don't have those things in order, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to do so.
I think you raised a very important point, which is identifying or having the presence of mind and, the maturity to identify areas that you're not particularly good at and working through or looking for the resources to help build up your capacity. So I'd like to turn this question over to Awa, which you do obviously have quite a number of strengths, but yeah, where do you think there is room for improvement? Did you hear me, Awa?
Hi, can you please say the question again, please?
Right, so Nancy made a very important point around having the presence of mind to identify areas where, you're not particularly good at and working to improve in those areas to continue to develop personally and professionally as a business owner. So I wanted to turn this question to see if areas you feel as a business owner there is room to improve on.
Did you understand that, Awa? I know you're very good at marketing, but is there something you want to be better at? I think you're on mute, Francis. So while we're waiting for Awa to answer that.
Yeah, so there's actually a question from Peter. So let me.
We have from our board member, Peter Brest. He said,
right.
I have a question for any awardees who'd like to answer. There are many sources of small business loans. How did you hear about Accompany Capital? So you can see our board members, they're always thinking about Accompany Capital. And why did you choose to work for us, or work with us, I should say? And I'm going to ask Sarina, because she was honored at another event yesterday. And when she was interviewed, she very kindly mentioned Accompany Capital. So Sarina, obviously it's in our interest to hear from you.
Thank you. So interestingly, my first interaction with Accompany was not actually about financing or loans. I was invited to speak on a panel. And I was introduced to Accompany Capital and to Yanki through a mutual friend and a journalist that writes a lot about small businesses. Her name is Nina Roberts. So thank you, Nina. And I attended that panel, and I was so inspired by the other people on the panel, by the staff of Accompany that I met, by Yanki. And I just had that in the back of my head, like, this is a great organization. And then when the time came when we really needed some help and some financing, I thought about Accompany Capital at that time, because then I reached out and I said, oh, is it, you know, and then the sort of financing relationship developed at that point. And then Leonid and I exchanged many emails and phone calls in that process. And it has been a wonderful experience. And I think one that has multiple facets, and that I was also saying earlier, where I feel like the name Accompany really speaks to the kind of relationship that we've had.
Thank you, Sarina. I don't know if Nancy or Kelvin want to answer that, because, you know, I do have to answer to my board of directors, so I want to make sure we're answering Peter's questions. He's actually one of the first board member that I enlisted to serve on our board. So Kelvin, if you
I'll jump in on that too. I'm learning and taking notes from all of you. Your brilliance and your advice is it's free advice, and it's worth millions of dollars. So thank you for it. And one of the things that was mentioned is you have to know your strengths, you have to know your weaknesses, and you also have to have a team around you that can help you, some professionals that can help you with advancing your goals. So I have a really good team of talent around me to keep me in shape. You know, as entrepreneurs, we're dreamers and we just want to go take over the world, but it takes capital, it takes a strategy to do it. My team introduced me to Jason Cole, who is a phenomenal talent. And he was determined to work with me to help me get some investment capital so we can acquire some equipment and to have some working capital. You know, Jason's got a good reputation, and he's got a lot of good colleagues in the industry that has pointed me to him, and I'm pointing others to him because I know he's passionate. You feel like you're a member of Jason's family when you go through the process with him. So I can't wait to work with him and do more work and continue to improve and to grow and to learn with him and with the entire team at Accompany Capital. So Accompany, take good care of Jason. He is
thank you,
he's amazing.
And you know, our clients, they adore their loan officers. So thank you so much. It was, you know, really gracious of you to compliment Jason. We think he's wonderful. We think Leonid is wonderful. Maria Paulino, everyone is wonderful. So I don't know if Nancy, you want to answer that question.
Absolutely. So I believe Jason and I met sometime during the pandemic. I want to say I was sitting here thinking that we met sometime during the pandemic, but I'm very fortunate enough to have a fractional CFO, Ken Pichel, who is wonderful and worked very closely with Jason. And I was very grateful just for the certainly the support that Jason has given us, and believing in entrepreneurs, and believing, in my case, in DH2, and opening up the path for the opportunity to have access to capital. So I'm very grateful to Ken, who worked very closely with Jason, and you know, and gave us this wonderful opportunity that will allow us to continue to grow, create more jobs, and you know, we're dreamers. I think we're just dreamers, and to have you know, that support to say, you know what, I believe in your dream, and access to capital is such an important part in order for you to continue to move forward with those dreams. So I am very grateful to Jason, to Accompany Capital, and to his team, because my gosh, he has a wonderful team behind him. So thank you so very much.
The question for Awa is, what is the first new service you plan to add, and how quickly do you plan to add them?
First service, I saw it was interesting to add it. It was like a book online, and put the down payment, because sometimes people, customer, they book, they don't show up, and you know, those interval of time you wasting. So I make them pay online and put the down payment. So at least if you don't come, I'm not gonna be, you know, at least I'm gonna have something. So that's I see like that was a good thing. So I quickly put it as I'm asking my customer to book online, at least so they can save their place, the seat, and I'm sure they will come.
Thank you so much, everyone, for all your questions. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Yanki for her final words.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Awa, Sarina, Nancy, Kelvin. Congratulations again. And I would really be amiss if I did not thank the two people who put this event together. Thank you to Catherine Ventura, our communications consultant who produced this event. And of course, thanks to Kendra. And we also have to thank Maria Kambale, who shot the videos. You all got to meet her and she interviewed you. Thank you, Maria. And thank you to our board members who hopefully are still here with us. Thank you, Kwame. And thank you to our funders, our partners, everybody. Please, we plan to meet next year in person. So thank you, everyone. See you next year and in person.